Hey folks, I've recently uploaded a Master That Riff lesson looking at He-Man Woman Hater by Extreme, and a few people asking about the tone, how I got the tone for the video. I did that all using my Line 6 Helix LT, so I thought it'd be quite cool actually just to go through the patch that I created, plus if you've got a Helix yourself, be it the full range mod or the LT, you can download the patch. I'll make the link available so you can stick it on your Helix and tweak to get a closer Nuno tone than I've possibly got. So what I did with this is pretty much Nuno's tone is kind of had a consistent thing going on, in the sense that he's got quite a kind of bright, kind of biting kind of sound. In his early days, he would kind of use a Marshall, and he would stick the Proco Rat in front of it, and I'll talk about that in a second. But I think most people possibly think of the most iconic Nuno tone as being Porno Graffiti, I would think, of that era, I would say. And of course, in that album, that's an album produced by Michael Wagner, so that has one of the holy grail rock kind of recording setups of the ADA preamp with Macintosh amps that he used on like Skid Row's albums and White Line and all that sort of stuff. So that was the kind of the gear that was being used for that album, and used, I think Nuno used some of the preamps on tour as well, maybe like in the Three Sides tour, even though that album was recorded using a Soldano Super Lead 60. So the point I'm making is he's kind of had different amp sounds at different points in his career. Obviously he has his signature amps now. The thing that is consistent though is typically this rat pedal on the front. Even the new Randalls have that kind of essential kind of circuitry, whatever, in the front of the amp, and it's really used in conjunction with some sort of hot rodded Marshall kind of sound. So that was kind of what I was going for with this. At the moment, the patch, as you can see here, I've got nothing on. This is just straight through. So what I kind of started with was, cab wise, I've actually got two options on here. Now, greenbacks, 25 watt greenbacks are typically, I think that was what was in the Marshall, the modded Marshall amp that they used. I think it was Andy Brower modded Marshall amp that they used on Porno Graffiti. And for live kind of rigs as well, I think Nuno's used the kind of greenbacks, but I actually went for kind of the Marshall 4x12 here because I just felt it sounded just a little bit better for the kind of tone I had in my head for Nuno. But the amp I was using was basically the Line 6 2204 mod, so it's pretty much, it's a hot rodded Marshall. So with that cab and that amp, you get that kind of sound. So already we got plenty of gain there. And I didn't tweak the bass or treble, they're pretty much just at kind of 12 o'clock. I took the mids down a little bit. I mean, you know, if you see some of the settings and like the Soldano stuff, the mids tend to be not scooped, but they're not been boosted in any way. But what I did do is I added in plenty of kind of sizzle and kind of top bite. I put the presence up to about 9 here. It's a subtle change, but you tend to feel it more on these kind of lower strings. So if I put that back up to 9, so that was kind of the kind of the bass sound I had there. Just out of interest, this is what the greenbacks sound with that. I just felt that was a kind of better sound, and I had it set up with a 1-to-1 ribbon. I mean, obviously in recording setups they'll have multiple kind of mics and all that sort of stuff, but I wasn't going to go into too analytical depth with this. I've got low cut in here just to remove any kind of boominess, and I've also got a massive high cut, as you can see, and that's because without that sounds all right there, but combined with the rat pedal, it was just too much. Now, let me put the rat pedal on and show you what's going on here. So this is basically used just to add a little bit more kind of tightness to the bottom end. That's how Nuno likes to use it and how he refers to it. And I managed to find old pictures of his kind of gear from back in the day and the settings he had on this. So the gain is pretty low. We've got it down here about 1.5. You can see he normally has the kind of filter midway, and then the levels up about kind of 3/4. So that's what I was going for here. So this is really taking this sound and just adding a little bit. So you can hear the difference there. Adds a little bit of bite to it. The bass isn't quite as yeah, just kind of tightens it up as he says. So it adds quite a nice little kind of punch to things. Okay. Now, for kind of reverb and settings, I just kind of went for a room sound, just to take it out the kind of, you know, so it wasn't really up and in your face. But I also added a little bit of delay as well, because I read, I don't know if it was on the kind of the forum post, but Michael Wagner talked about adding a little bit of delay, set for an 1/8, but just kind of low mix. So it just adds a little bit more. It's quite subtle, but you can hear just adds a little bit more kind of air to things. Yeah, and that was it. That was kind of the basic kind of settings I went for. So it's pretty, I mean, this Washburn N4 is quite a bright sounding guitar. It's got a lot of kind of top end vibe to it. But that sound, you hear the kind of sizzle and bones at the top end you get with that kind of Nuno sound. Now the other thing I was mucking about with, it wasn't related to the He-Man Woman Hater riff, is I was mucking about with the delay here for kind of Flight of the Wounded Bumblebee. Now what I've got, and what you really want in that kind of piece is, Nuno has a delay set up, so there's this kind of repeat every 3/16. So the song's about kind of 204 BPM. So what I've got here is I've got the feedback right down, because you only want one repeat, and I've got the delay time set to 221 milliseconds. So when I hit a note, there should be another one coming in at that kind of 3/16. So what you end up with is, without that delay sound, Nuno's kind of playing these even 8th things at 204 BPM. That sort of thing. And then when you add the delay, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. All that kind of stuff. And it adds that kind of, you know, makes it sound like you're picking a lot more notes when you're just kind of picking 2. So that was me mucking about with that. So I've got that there in the patch as well, if you want to have a play around with that. And I've also got a little bit of chorus here, but I haven't really used that. I was just kind of mucking about with it. Nuno has a little bit of chorusing every now and again, and some flange sounds and stuff as well, even though I haven't got the kind of flanger on there. But this was really more of a kind of bass patch for that kind of rhythm sound. Okay, so have fun with it. As I said, please grab it, stick it on your Helix, have a muck about with it. You can dial in some, you know, your ears might be a little bit better than mine. You'll be able to dial in a kind of tighter, a kind of better tone. But it was just a kind of off the cuff video just to let people see what was going on with that. So as usual, you know, if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please subscribe. I've got a MasterThatGear video coming up with this very guitar, I'm talking about it in detail. Have some close-up, sexy shots of it and stuff. And I've also kind of, as usual, got more riffs and all that sort of stuff coming along. So check out the YouTube channel, and also you can check out MasterThatGear on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the usual places. to find out some more stuff. Okay, so thanks for watching. Hopefully it's been a little bit helpful, and I shall see you soon.